The First Battle of Bull Run happened on July 21st, 1861. The location was Prince William County, Virginia, near the city of Manassas. The commanders were Irvin McDowell, Joseph E. Johnston, and P.G.T. Beauregard. The goal was to defeat a large portion of the Confederate Army, open the way to the Confederate capital Richmond, and end the war. General Scott gave McDowell command of the Department of Northeastern Virginia, which included the military forces in and around Washington. The problems the Union faced were that McDowell created an overly complicated plan that kept causing delays and allowed Confederate scouts to predict their next moves, and Patterson failed to keep the Confederates in the West busy. The Confederates had many communication failures and lack of coordination between units. Expecting McDowell to march on the Manassas through Centerville, Beauregard began preparing a defensive position along the south bank of Bull Run. Beauregard placed his right flank near the railroad bridge at Union Mills, extending the line northover along Bull Run to the stone bridge on the Warrenton Turnpike. McDowell planned to march his army toward Manassas on July 9th to defeat Beauregard's command, but lack of sufficient supplies postponed them for a week. McDowell warned the War Department that unless Johnston was prevented from reinforcing Beauregard, he had little chance of winning. That afternoon, Confederate reinforcements extended the Confederate line and succeeded in breaking the Union right flank. Throughout the day, the Confederate forces were pushed back, despite impressive efforts by Colonel Thomas Jackson to hold ground at Henry House Hill, earning him the name Stonewall Jackson. Virginia cavalry under Colonel James Ewell Brown Stuart arrived on the field and charged into a confused mass. The Federal retreat rapidly deteriorated as narrow bridges, overturned wagons, and heavy artillery fire added to the confusion. Although they had won, Confederate forces were too disorganized to pursue. By July 22nd, the Union Army had reached the safety of Washington. The Battle of Bull Run convinced the Lincoln administration in the North that the Civil War would be a long and costly affair. McDowell was relieved of command of the Union Army and replaced by Major General George B. McClellan, who started reorganizing and training the troops. The effects it had, McDowell was blamed for their defeat and replaced by General McClellan. Lincoln realized that this would not be an easy war to win. The victory gave the South a boost of confidence, and many soldiers were lost.